Hey, Kathy.
Hi, how are you, Betsy?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining me today. So excited to have you back as a second timer. I think you might be my first second timer.
I feel I'm honored.
Oh my gosh, that means that I've been doing this a while. Um,
Indeed.
so before we get started, let me reintroduce you to our listeners. Kathy and I are not only friends, but colleagues. We met through the Life Designer Coaching Academy. And um, the other thing I think that keeps us connected, Kathy, is our shared learning and passion.
Mhm.
Well, our shared passion for learning, right? We're like always, seeking out, what the next, thing is and that we want to dive into. And I love like sharing, what we're doing with you.
We are both lifelong learners and it's just really fun, obviously, to share those type of things with other people who are traveling the same path, so to speak. So yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Okay, so before we get into what you're up to. Maybe we do a little backstory on where you came from, how you got to where you are, however much you want to share.
Okay. Excuse me. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. My most recent career, before becoming a coach, which I'll talk a little bit about, was as a producer. And I produced TV commercials and web content and all sorts of stuff, live stream events. And I did that for, I think, close to 25 years. I lived in lots of major cities, Boston, New York, DC. Um, and then the city that I live in now is Rochester, New York. I came home to help take care of my elderly father. And along with that, I was really um, just trying to figure out what's next for me. And so, as you said, we took a coaching course together and a certification course. And that really started me on this path that I didn't even expect, um, which I love to say that because I think that what happened is I stopped getting caught up in what I wanted the outcome to be and just kind of became open to what it could be. And that's when really great stuff comes up. And
Mhm.
so, um, I had this community of people during COVID, no less, that I loved and that I really realized I needed so desperately. It was just a community of people who are looking to do the same thing.
Mhm.
And with that, I discovered um, that I just needed a big change in my life. I didn't want to be a producer anymore.
Mhm.
And as much as I loved my career, I just was exhausted by it too,
Yeah,
and I just
I can
needed to
relate.
move
Yeah.
on. And the coaching became this thing that brought so much to my world. I mean, not only did I have a new community, but I was really willing to go deep and think about what's holding me back and how I wanted to be in the world, and
Mhm.
how I wanted to
Yeah.
communicate with people. And I became a much better listener. And there's just so many great things that came out of that, doing that coaching program with you.
Yeah.
And then we developed this great friendship. I mean, we
Yeah.
talk every couple of weeks, if not more,
Right.
and just really talk about what's going on in our lives, and we support
Yeah.
each other. And
Yeah.
that is just, I've met some amazing women as a coach, and I'm so grateful for that.
Mhm.
So I I think I became who I'm really meant to be. Like I kind of realized like, oh, they were in there all the time. I just didn't let them come
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
you know. which was, pretty life-changing.
Yeah, as you're talking, it's like just reminding me of, so many things that we have in common. We're similar, not only similar age, but literally like the same month. And and also like made big career pivots.
Mhm.
And and as you're speaking, it also what crosses my mind is that how lucky are we, to be at this point in our lives and to be able to uh, slow down a little bit
Yeah.
and do the kind of work that we find, most meaningful. And and I also gather that at a younger point in your life, that producing was super exciting, I
Mm.
imagine, and very fulfilling. But I think our visions and our dreams change, as we. I'm not even going to say necessarily age, but you could be 30 and aging. So just as we change, age, evolve, our dreams start to change. And I love the name of your business, What's Next, because there's always a what's next.
Yeah. I mean, life is about change, right? You can't avoid it. There's some type of change happening all the time. And so, um, I I really like to support people who are making big life changes, because I've made quite a few of them, as you can hear. I mean, I've moved around quite a bit, and producing wasn't my first career, it was my second career. Um,
Mhm.
I have a master's in public health, and so I was in health
Right.
administration before that.
Yeah.
And so coaching is actually my third career. And you're right. I mean, we all evolve and our priorities change,
Hmm.
um, you know, at pivotal points. And
Right.
so I my priorities definitely changed. And I really wanted to slow down. Production is like it's a big job. And um I just wanted to like connect with people on a deeper level, I
Hmm.
think, is really
Hmm.
what it was. It's just, I felt that, I have really good friends and I have family and stuff, but I love having those big conversations, where
Hmm.
you're exploring what's important and
Right.
what you're thinking on any given
Yes.
day,
Yeah.
the significance of it. And I just really wanted to connect with people on a deeper level. Um, and that I think was part of, my growth experience as well.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just that I had that need,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah. And I also, think that at this point in our lives that we have the luxury to focus a little bit more on our wellness
Mm,
while we were working in those, you know, not exactly 9 to 5 jobs.
yeah.
It was hard to have work-life balance. And so brings me to my next question for you is what do you do to nourish yourself for wellness from a mind perspective, from a body physical perspective, and from a spiritual perspective?
I think that um, you're right, that our careers were not 9 to 5, and um, work-life balance was never, uh, I, I didn't experience it very often. And so, excuse me, so coaching has been, um, it's led me to really understand the necessity for that and honor it. Um, so in terms of spirituality, like I can tell you, I I've never I'm full into understanding and exploring spirituality now, and I can honestly tell you that that wasn't true um, until like I don't know, a year ago. And to be fully honest with you, I think that um, And what I'm recognizing is that spirituality is just like a key piece of our lives, and it's a true missing
Mhm.
when it's not there. Like
Yeah.
once you kind of understand that spirituality is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be based on a specific religion or um, you know, any doctrine. It's really, how do you connect with the universe? How do
Mhm.
you listen for and watch for synchronicities? Um, what do you believe about the world? And that has been eye-opening for me because I was like, I was very resistant to it, truthfully, for a long, long time. Um, and now I'm just like, I want to explore it more and more and more.
Yeah.
So, um, physically, um, I have been spending so much more time in nature. I'm, I have a dog, which is really great because I leave the house more often now because I have to.
You have to.
But I'm live in a community where there's just so many parks and green spaces and um, canals and lakes. And so we go exploring and I find trails and parks and we go traipsing through the parks all the time. And I love it. My dog loves it. And it really centers me. It really
Yeah.
grounds me to be in
I
nature.
find dogs are also a great conversation starter.
Yes, they're very much a conversation starter. And they're also like, it's so fun to be with them because she enjoys the trail so much. She's running ahead of me and just sniffing around. And they really do dogs ground you too, because you're paying attention to them and you're getting out of your head, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So physically, I really try to just get out in nature and walk.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and then mind-wise, I have I think I started meditating about 3 months ago.
Mm.
Um, if if not longer. And it's that one thing that I always said, "Oh, I should start meditating." I've been saying that for years. And I finally connected with some people who really helped me um, do it, learn how to do it. And I just started, it felt so good to meditate. And I really, to just be still.
Yes.
Stillness is like so beautiful and so much can come out of it. And um, I just love meditating. So I meditate at least 5 days a week, sometimes seven. And that really keeps me out of my head. Um, it keeps me open to new ideas. I mean,
Mm.
great stuff can come out of just being.
Hmm. Yes.
Um, it keeps my blood pressure down, like the stress just kind of evaporates when you're meditating. Uh, and I also use some somatic practices that I've learned where, if my jaw is really tight, there's an exercise I can do, or if I go someplace negative, I can bring myself back and, or if I have a pain in my body, I can acknowledge that pain and recognize it. And what's magical about it is that if you can kind of just notice the pain, don't ascribe any judgment to it, um, your body just needs to be honored and acknowledged. And
Mhm.
oftentimes when I do that, the pain goes away.
Yeah. What's so interesting about what you're describing is while I asked you the question of what do you do for these three different areas, I find that what you're talking about could fit into any one of those. So, meditation could be also spiritual. You're walking in nature, that could also be
Mm.
spiritual. You're emotions and your physical feelings seem to be connected. I mean, it's just like so interwoven. That's what I always find so interesting.
Yeah, the mind-body connection
Hmm.
uh, is is profound. I think that and just bringing in the spiritual, as you said, meditation is spiritual. Walking in nature is spiritual for sure. So you're absolutely right on that count. Just even finding ways to be grounded can be spiritual. Um, so I think the mind, body, and soul connection is definitely uh, one to think about and one to embrace, really.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I like to think of the spirit as like the spark that lights the energy, in us.
Mhm. Yeah.
And um, I also kind of had that vision as you were, talking about like what motivates you. And um, so what else do you have going on that you'd like to share in terms of anything in particular that um, you're reading or podcasts or um, anything?
Um,
Cla-
wow,
Classes?
podcasts. I listen to so many that I love. I love The Moth, which is storytelling, and it's just people telling real stories about their lives. And that's one of my favorite podcasts. There's also just a lot of really great podcasts around um, growth and well-being that I love. I also um, really want to tell everyone about um, a retreat that I'm co-hosting. I realize that I do one-on-one coaching and I do group coaching, and I love in-person group coaching so much. I think online coaching is amazing and can be tremendous. But that it's the in-person is next level, right? It's just there's something about it that you can really connect with people so wholeheartedly. Um, I work with a group of women called Age of Possibility, and it's most of them are based in Canada, some of us are in US. And the founder of Age of Possibility, Kathleen Holland, um, has been looking for a retreat center for like 10 years, and she found one in New Brunswick, Canada, in St. Martin's. And I've been there a couple times. It's just magical. I mean, it overlooks the Bay of Fundy. It's over essentially the water. It's some of the most undeveloped land, in Canada. And so you're surrounded by woods and forests, and the retreat's up on a hill overlooking the water, and it butts up against some nature preserves, and it's just really beautiful and magical. And so I am co-hosting a retreat called Discover You, and it's really about um, discovering who you truly are. I think whoever we are is already here inside of us. It sometimes just gets lost. Life
Mhm.
happens, and you families, careers, whatever it is, and I think what happens is you just kind of give into whatever that is, and you lose yourself. And um, so this is all about really getting back to who you really are. And finding joy and purpose. I think that I've heard from so many people who have just been like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I feel a bit lost. Um, I don't, is this the rest of what the rest of my life is going to look like? Um, where do I go from here? What's next for me?
Mhm.
All those questions. And I hear that over and over and over again. And so what I know, what I believe and know in my heart is that the way to find your joy and purpose and the way to really um, understand your place in the world is if you reconnect with your authentic self. And so it's really an exploration of, what's important to me.
Hmm.
What do what do I want my life to look like? How do
Hmm.
I want it to feel? And is there anything holding me back? And what is that?
Yeah.
And is it time to let that go? And really come up with help you come up with a plan for what's going to happen after the retreat. How do you stay grounded? How do you stay true to yourself? How do you live in possibility? Because once you connect with who you really are, you kind of just live in possibility. I mean, you don't get caught up in how you think things should be. I think a lot of
Hmm.
people really, you know, do connect with that feeling of just like I should be doing this or I should be doing that. And what happens is you just begin to know what's what's important and what's good for you, and it affects everyone around you
Hmm.
because how you're being um, true to yourself, finding joy, because we should experience that every day, not every other week, um, is where people will connect with you even more. It's
Yeah.
just really a way of being. And
Yeah.
so that's what the retreat is about. It's in June, early June.
Okay.
So I'll share
Great.
the retreat
Yeah.
information with you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll have your website and that information in the notes as well.
Oh, great.
And
Love
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So great. Well, thanks, Kathy, for coming to chat. And I hope that you enjoy. Looks like you're still visiting a
Yeah, I'm
family.
visiting my sister, which it's always nice to take a break and get away from home.
Little change of
Uh,
scenery.
yeah, I'm all for it, and I get to go to the beach every day, even though it's winter.
Uh,
So that's nice. But thank you for having me. This has been
yeah,
really wonderful, and I always
yeah,
love our conversations. So
yeah. I always love your input and your insights, and I enjoy getting your weekly newsletter, email, and you really have great wisdom, Kathy. So
thank
I
you.
appreciate that, and I was excited to share you with my listeners as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.